Some folks need more leads. Some folks need better leads. Let's get both. I'm always going on about how the key is all about how you make your content. Some content gets likes, but people who give likes are basically window shoppers. I'm going to show you how to make content that attracts people ready to buy. Let's start with what we mean by a qualified lead, because a lot of people get that wrong. There are two problems when it comes to getting leads. There's either not enough people or there's the wrong people, which is what I ran into. So let's have a mindset shift. Because if you only chase those likes and views, you might end up with people who don't really care about what you offer. So before you just go and try and grab more leads, let's reframe that and make sure we're focused on the right kinds of leads. So ask yourself a simple question every time you're trying to decide what kind of topic you want to make content about. Is this content something that invites someone to the next logical step? Or is it just something to agree with? When you do this right, you might end up with fewer views and likes and all that kind of stuff, but you're going to end up with more qualified leads. Each person is going to be more qualified. I'm telling you that now because it's going to surprise you when it happens. Okay, now that we see that difference, here's why most people make things harder instead of easier. Most people list the features of what they're selling, but that makes people have to connect the dots. And then listing the benefits isn't really much better because they're still needing to connect the dots to what it means. I mean, if your audience has to stop and think too much, they're just going to scroll right on by. And that's going to happen if you just list the features of an offer. And so here's the tricky part. Even when we list the benefits, that leaves most people trying to connect the dots to what it all means to them. We think we're being clear because we already know what it means, but they don't. Great content connects the problem, the fix, and all the happy endings all in one track. That's the feature, benefit, meaning, result, outcome track. That's how you go from just another post to them thinking, this is exactly what I need. Are you one of those folks like me that struggles with the whole feature, benefit, meaning thing? I crafted this map to help me identify the different levels of emotional connection. Use the map to define different layers of connection. Grab the map in the description of the video. Even after we connect the benefits to the results for our audience, there's another connection people still miss. In fact, lots of people talk about pain points in their marketing. What's hard? What's painful? What do we not like? But then they forget to talk about how do we make that better? Because pain only matters when you show a way out of it. Because you don't want to just be saying this stinks all the time. You need to be saying this stinks and here's what we can do about it. When people feel like you get their problem and then you show them a fix, that's when it all clicks. You're not just pointing out the pain. You're offering a way to finally fix it. And that's what's powerful. All right, now that we've hit the emotional part, here's how to make it easy for people to just go ahead and say yes. We need to keep in mind that making decisions and taking action use different parts of your brain. So your content shouldn't require them to do much thinking or decision making because that prevents them from buying. Okay, let's take all that stuff about tying features to results and tying the pain points to how to solve them, and let's add in one more thing. Make it clear how they can solve their problem. Now, you do this by having really good offers, but more than that, they need to be really clear offers. Without being clear, people just slip back into worrying and overthinking as they try to connect all those dots. So, when everything is clear, It gives their brain an opportunity to just say, that's the problem I have. Ooh, that offer solves it. Yep, I'm going to get it. Because again, if people are thinking too much, is this describing my problem? Is this offer going to actually give me a resolution? Can I actually get it done? You know, they're thinking, they're not buying, they're not acting, they're stuck. All right. One more thing, if you really want to maximize on all of this stuff, you need to fully understand what your ideal client wants. So click that video on the screen and I'll show you an easy way to do that. Let's go.